All right. Hi. What's going on, Mediocre Gamer fam? It is I, Anthony Elliott. I am singing to start off this beautiful Monday with my best friend in the world, AJ. AJ, how was AJ today?
Pretty good. It was a pretty whatever day. It's Monday, so Monday can only be as good as a Monday can be. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
I was out of town this last weekend, so that was
What? What you
yeah.
do?
I went down to my buddy's place. He lives in Sioux City, South Dakota, so
Okay.
nothing too crazy. But I just haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen his place, so went down, met his friends from college, and all that, and had plenty of long nights. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but it was fun.
Man. No, it sounds fun. Man, isn't it
We
weird getting older and you just realize like, oh, my friends have new friends now?
Yeah, right. Hey, we went to their like claim to fame. There's a Hard Rock casino, and
Ooh,
walked
okay.
out net positive like $140. So I can't be too upset.
Yeah, no. Anytime you win at a casino, it's a good night.
Uh
It's a good
huh.
night. But
Yeah.
AJ, we aren't talking about winning at casinos. I'm sure that there are more stories to that than what I'm gonna pry for, but it's fine. We can talk about it another time. But today we are talking about something. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a casino, mobile games, baby.
Yeah, depending on what game you're talking about, certainly, and especially like I noticed when I was like doing some research for this. This is really interesting. I first went to games on the App Store and hit top grossing, right, instead of top free, just to get like
Okay.
a good mix of what's the top games. And as I'm scrolling, like an absurd amount. This is on Android, granted. I don't have an iPhone. An absurd amount was gambling apps, like a concerning amount were gambling apps.
AJ, but now to find gambling, are we talking about things like DraftKings? Shout out to DraftKings if you want to
I
sponsor us or
mean,
something like that.
yeah, but like it was like a lot of slots, a lot of like casino cards, but like it was playing for real money or gambling real money. So, I mean,
That's very interesting, actually. I mean,
yeah,
but that makes
yeah.
sense though. And then shout out to just mobile games as a whole because I want to say Candy Crush was kind of like Pandora's box, at
Oh, Candy Crush
least
is
for a
up
while.
there. I
And
really,
then one more thing
yeah,
about
go
Candy
ahead.
Crush, they don't do it like too crazy. I don't feel like they're very predatory with
No,
their in-app purchases. However, they are frequent, and you do have the option to buy them pretty often. But it is an option, and you don't need it to have a good time with the game. You actually have a better
yeah.
time without it. But whatever.
I mean, and that's the case with a lot of the older games, right? Because
Mhm.
you have that. I mean, we had Angry Birds. Those very like. I mean, on iPhone it cost $1 to get it, but originally it was free on Android.
Shout
Um,
out to Android.
Shout out Android.
A-
Uh,
Android to iPhone debate is a weird debate at this point,
it
but
is.
whatever,
It
it's fine.
is. It's almost irrelevant at this point. It really the only like biggest claim to fame besides the ecosystem that Apple has is iMessage, and is it really that special?
It's not actually. They
We
just
have our
announced
own.
recently. I believe it's. I mean, we have our own like
It's not the
cryptid.
same. Yeah,
It's not the same, but it's the same thing. Actually, they just announced that they're gonna stop limiting or showing that Android messages as green. Like, everything's gonna be blue.
that's
So now
sick.
there's no way to tell them apart.
That's sick. Like
Yeah.
that's like a legit. And we'll get back to games. That's like a legit issue. Like
We
right now,
shall.
as like a single person who's like trying to
Oh
meet
dear.
people. There's been a handful of times where they see I have green bubbles and ghost me. It's
I'm
crazy.
so sorry.
It's
And
crazy.
then, ladies, AJ's a cool guy. Don't ghost him because his messages are lime green. Don't
That's
do
why, like,
that. He's a cool guy.
I mean, granted, it's almost a thing, anyways. Well, thank you, man. It's almost a thing, anyways, to go with Snapchat over text, like phone number, anyways. It feels so serious with our generation, but like, I do
Ooh,
push for Snapchat more now because of that. Because that like gets me a little bit longer. It's
that is,
so sad. Like that's so sad that that's how
yeah,
that
no, that's
works.
terrible.
Yeah.
I haven't been single for a very long time, AJ. I regret to inform you. However, I was I was outside once upon a time, and I'd never
Uh-huh.
had that issue. But I also met women in a litany of different ways. We can get to my hoe
Mhm.
phase eventually. That's the mobile game. The hoe phase. Oh my god, that sounds so fun. That sounds
The
really
hoe
fun
phase,
actually.
just trying to go
Yeah, that's
pick up males or females, whatever you prefer. Just
whatever you want, bro. Just go outside and get them. The hoe phase. Come into your nearest app store or Play Store. I don't know if you have an Android or an iPhone because it doesn't matter. That's not the point, AJ.
So some
Oh man.
other classics that weren't super predatory. I mean, Flappy Bird was not. Doodle
Oh,
Jump wasn't. Where's My
oh
Water?
man.
Tap Tap Revolution, Jetpack Joyride. I
Okay.
mean, there were tons of games back in the day
Hmm.
that were not Fruit Ninja that were not predatory.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I feel like we see this big shift from then to now, where not all,
Hmm.
but a lot are more predatory. I mean, even Genshin Impact, where you can play that game just fine for free. Like, you can. It's still
Hmm.
like it's gambling. It's pretty predatory, you know. I mean, there's all just the junk that gets tossed out for apps now. That's just like, you know, that took them 10 minutes to whip up this copycat game, and it's just like the second you log in before you play the game, they're like, "Hey, do you want to stop the ads?" It's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Um. Yeah, it's a little forward, just butter me up. Give me some
yeah,
foreplay. Like I will say, Pokemon Go did it probably the best, one of the
yeah,
best ways, because at least it gave you enough rope to hang yourself where it's like, oh man, you might as well just buy the extra egg. And like I don't think I didn't give Pokemon Go any money, but BitLife for sure got a couple got at least like probably like $20 out of me for sure.
uh,
But
there's
why do you look so sad,
there's been a
AJ?
handful of games because anytime anyone, including myself, spends money on
Okay.
phone games, it's just a sad thing. Like no one proudly spends money on phone games.
I,
Um,
I mean, listen, okay. If I had the money back in high school, okay, mini backstory about me, mini
mhm,
story time. Back in high school, they gave the student body a bunch of iPads. I don't know why they did
yep.
that. I forget whose idea it was. Gave everybody an iPad. And dog, me, five, six other people would be on eight ball pool like madmen. Like it's
Oh
a lot of
yeah.
people want a lot of money playing eight ball pool, and like you're like trying to line up the shots, looking at this 2D screen, but you're like looking at it from different angles to see if you see something different. It was a very interesting kind of ecosystem to live in. And if
Yeah.
I had some money to buy one of those weird custom pool sticks, AJ, please believe I would have had one of those weird custom pool sticks.
Yeah, I always wanted one, but never was committed enough to get one. But I've definitely spent money on some games. I mean, I can't judge. You know, I spent some on Genshin Impact for sure. I definitely did.
How much have you spent, AJ?
Oh, not like a gross amount. It was back in college.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
probably about $50
Okay.
over
You know
like the
what?
course of a
50
few
is like
months. Like this was like not all at
okay.
once.
I was gonna
So
say, likewise, me and BitLife, it was like $20 over like I was playing that game for years. So like ultimately, I'm not mad at it.
yeah,
It
there's
was my decision.
one other game I can't remember. I'm just drawing a blank where I definitely paid for no ads. I like it was a game I played all the time. I just can't. I could think of it. I can't remember the name. It's no one. It wasn't popular. Like it was whatever. But
Nobody played it.
it was like $2, and I was like, fuck it. I'm tired of these
Yeah,
ads.
no. Oh yeah, I feel like probably right before COVID hit, that was like peak. That was peak free game. Every other swipe, every other thing you do is an ad. That was
Yeah.
peak that time. But AJ, now we're in. The kids don't know how good they have it. AJ, we have games such as Resident Evil Village coming to your iPhone. I
I
think
mean,
Resident Evil 4 as well.
we always had games like that because we had GTA that came to our phones.
Yeah, but I would argue that's a little bit different just because we had GTA, San Andreas, and like Vice City and 3, and like those games could actually run on a Nokia. So I'm not
Mm.
even really worried about that versus a game that I think it was like a month after the release. It's like, oh, and by the way, you can play it on your iPhone. What?
Yeah, like that, don't get me wrong, that is crazy. But I mean, shit, back in the day when the iPod Touch first came, we had Infinity Blade for the iPad Touch.
Oh,
That's an
gee.
insane game. And
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I know it's not as pretty, but Genshin Impact does have a lot going on at times with like particle effects,
It does.
abilities, a bunch of monsters to the point where I gotta
Mhm.
imagine that's kind of hard for a phone to run. There's also the oh, what was it called? It's not the Asphalt games. It's the better racing game. It's like CSR Racing or something like that, where it's like
Ooh, I know
the
what you're talking
genuine
about.
like racing sim that looks good. Like that would make my phone
Yeah.
get so hot. That one's hard to
Yeah.
run. There's a few. Don't get me wrong, but Resident Evil's still insanely impressive that it can run on there. I'm still never gonna
It's
play
like
it on my
really
phone,
impressive.
but it's impressive.
AJ, why are you hating? Why don't you just play Resident Evil? Well, I mean, you hate horror games. Let's start there.
But
But let's just say we put that to the
because
side.
I'm gonna play it on my TV. I'm never gonna sit. If I'm on my phone, it like look at most of the biggest games of all time are all quick. They're all quick levels, quick pick up and play. None of them you sit down for a long time. Really, I mean, you can if you want, but none of them are
Yeah.
designed. None of them are designed for hours on end at one sitting.
Okay. You know what?
All
I'm gonna give you that one for free. I'm gonna give you that one for free because I mean, yeah. If we look at the list of classic games, like the original Mario, not it's literally an arcade game. It's designed to eat your quarters and tell you to have a good day. Like it's
yeah,
all it's designed to do.
and that's what a lot of phone games are meant for. Like they're meant to quick grab your
Mhm.
attention. I mean, they're all the GTA's. I mean, yeah, they sold well just because they are GTA, but people don't
Right.
play them to this day. People play Subway Surfers
No.
to this day. It came out in 2011. It's still like number 15 on the free charts on Android. Like it,
Isn't that kind of crazy
because
when
it's
you think about
simple to
that?
pick up and play. It's simple.
Yeah,
As soon
anybody can
as,
do it. Same
as
with
soon
Temple
as,
Run.
yes, exactly. As soon as you have to turn your phone sideways, you've lost like 50% of your potential player base on phones.
Easy. Right.
Same thing with me. If I have to
Right.
turn it sideways, probably not going to play it.
So okay. So time out. Okay,
Mhm.
hypothetical time. I love me some hypotheticals.
Yeah.
What if, what if
Uh huh.
it's the same game? So for example, you take Resident Evil 4, prime example, RE4. You take that classic over the shoulder camera. It looks probably not as good, but to be running on an iPhone looks like oh shit, right?
Yeah.
What if it's that but vertical and somehow, some way, you get a one-hand controller that could probably control like certain inputs, like maybe you shoot with this button, you interact with things with this button, whatever, and you can move it with just your thumb. You're not feeling my weird setup that actually would probably work.
I love the idea. Like because it's the same kind of thing with the like the backbone and the Razer controllers. Absolutely love the
Oh
idea.
yeah.
Phenomenal idea. I'm not taking a gaming peripheral out with my phone. And if I'm going to play it at home, I'm just going to play on my TV.
AJ, I need you to be a little bit more imaginative. What if the TV isn't available? What if everybody's watching the game? AJ, we just gonna get your Steam Deck handy.
If everyone's watching the game, I'm watching it with them. I'm not sitting there on my phone playing Resident Evil Village, or
Was that just
I'll piss off to my room and play it.
Was that just me that would like sit in a room with everybody and be on my little Nintendo DS playing Pokemon Leaf Green? I just want to be around people. That's just me.
Yo, I mean, as a kid, sure. But I also, as a kid, was
You're not
gonna
doing that as an adult.
no. I will at most hop on Reddit for like 3 swipes and go, all right, back to the game. Like,
Oh.
no, I don't know, man. I just like, I mean, Genshin Impact. Yeah, I played a bit of it on my phone because I played a bunch of that back in the day. I almost exclusively played it on my PC. You get a game like that, and I'd have zero interest in playing it on my phone.
Because I was just gonna say, I know Ubisoft has some really interesting stuff going on with crossplay. First of all, Ubisoft, as far as like the stuff they got going on the back end, is crazy. The games they make, but their technology is there 100%. And I truly feel if there was like crossplay, like for example, I remember Injustice, the mobile app was huge. I think it's still pretty big to this day. That with the crossplay with like your Warner Brothers account or whatever. And are you telling AJ? Are you telling me you're not gonna sit down and do that, and then somehow, some way, be connected on your on your big game? I call it big game because mobile is usually tiny. Yeah, if you could somehow, some way, take this 2D beat 'em up that has really nothing to do with the main game apart from like the likenesses. If somehow that intertwines with your Injustice setup, your Injustice 2 now. Would you be interested somehow, some way?
Injustice and Marvel, yes. To answer your question really fast, yes. And Marvel Contest of Champions, they did that 2D fighting gameplay perfectly for mobile. Well, yes, it does have to be sideways, but it makes sense for that kind of game. It's swipes and like taps. There aren't when you have like individual buttons that are laid out in the screen. it gets really hard because first of all, now you're covering part of your game with your thumbs, and you're covering the
Mhm.
buttons with your thumbs. And like,
Yeah.
whereas a controller, you can feel the buttons, you know where they're at. On a touchscreen,
Right.
it's like you can get an idea, but you'll still misclick way more
You're right.
often. And so it
No, you're
makes
gonna
those kind
miss
of
like
games.
50%.
It makes those kind of games. That's half the reason why I knock Resident Evil Village. It's still impressive they can do it. I won't deny that, but I'm not gonna sit there and play on a touchscreen. I won't. I
Okay.
won't have fun. Same thing with Genshin Impact. They lost me because I on my phone. I'm like, this is frustrating. Just get me on this, and I'm not gonna carry a
Just get me
gaming.
on.
I'm not gonna carry a gaming peripheral with me, even though I'm super interested in those for games like Resident Evil and
Mhm.
Genshin Impact. They're perfect for it, but I'm not gonna carry it with me. No one is. Barely
Okay, yeah. I
anyone
mean,
is.
definitely nobody in the West. Definitely nobody in the West is gonna
Yeah.
do that. Japan might be more open to it, but even then, that's a big if. I'm trying to think of how we can get you playing playing a mobile game like just in public because I do it all the time, but I also don't want to be a lot of places I go. No offense to anyone I've hung around recently.
Oh, and see, I play plenty of mobile games, but it's not those like intense ones because again, they're like 5-10 minute intervals. I don't. No one's playing Resident Evil Village for 5 to 10 minutes. No one.
No,
No one.
no.
And that's
At least
most
30
of the
minutes.
time when you're playing games. So that goes back to my original point. These phone games are meant to be quick. They're meant to be bite sized. Jetpack Joyride, quick. Subway Surfers, quick. Flow, you can get in one level, quick. Temple Run, quick.
Yeah.
They're all Clash of Clans. Well, yeah, that can be longer. You could still hop in, quick, collect your stuff, and like see what you can upgrade or what's next, and then get off. Super quick and easy. I mean, they're all quick. So Pokemon Go. What Pokemon are near me? Nothing interesting? Okay, hop off. Next thing. Like, they're quick.
Hmm.
That's where, like,
Okay.
Genshin Impact, I'm not playing that in a waiting room. I'm not. That's not
Okay.
quick. Therefore,
No,
I
that's
only play it on my computer. Or,
right.
I guess PlayStation 2.
Interesting.
But yeah.
I mean, listen, hey, you can play just HDMI it up, just stab it in the back
Yeah.
like the Matrix. We're good. That's so interesting because now I'm trying to think of like any like obscure games that I got in my repertoire. There's only one that comes to mind.
Mhm.
Do you remember Colors In?
Colors in. I don't think so.
Colors In. So it was like literally color and then Zen, like Wusa meditation, all that.
Oh, yes.
Basically,
Zen. Yes. Okay. Yep.
yes, yes, yes. So, and then for those of us who don't know, the goal of the game, you move these little pieces around into other pieces, and whichever piece that you're controlling or moving, the whole screen will turn that color. And the goal is to match the color on the peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually really fun. It was just a bunch of lo-fi, just boom, boom, psh, and that's terrible lo-fi. I'm never doing that again. And you move it around, and that, while it is pretty fun and pretty quick, it also is one of those things where it's like easy to play, difficult to master, which
Mhm.
I feel is really hard to catch. Like, I mean, kind of like Bayonetta. Bayonetta, a Bayonetta mobile. That wasn't, yeah, that's
You
one
could
comes
have
table.
again like you have the swipes. It's up and down. You could easily just like swipe for your combos. Like that would be cool. You got to make it work for mobile. That'd be cool.
So AJ, what's your dream mobile game? I know you got one. I know you got one in the
Oh.
chamber that you're just waiting.
Oh, absolutely.
How'd I know? How'd I know? Come on.
The fact that there isn't a Dr. Mario mobile game blows my mind. It's perfect because it's quick and casual, quick little puzzles, kind of like Bejeweled or like Candy Crush, those kind of things. And you could easily have it to where, like, you know, you swipe your finger along to decide where the pill goes, tap to flip it, swipe down to have it go down. Boom. Super simple, super easy. Nintendo could charge $3 for it. They'll get their money back.
They'll mop up easy. They'll mop that up.
It blows my mind.
We talked about it. We talked about it on another episode how Nintendogs doesn't have a mobile app, and the more I think about it, the crazier it is that it doesn't have a mobile app.
Dude,
like the crazier it is.
I thought about it more. You could even with I guess both Android and Apple phones now, you could even have your dog as your live wallpaper.
Oh,
Right? Oh,
Mm.
that would be so
That could
good.
be like a premium. That could be like a paywall feature. Like,
Yeah.
And then because they're gonna sell you dogs with real money. You know that. You know
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna charge you $1 for this pit bull puppy. You
Uh-huh.
know they're gonna charge you X amount for that dog. Oh my goodness. And then like the more expensive dogs, like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, it's a multi-billion-dollar app that we are sitting on. Literally, the only reason AJ and I aren't stealing this idea is because we aren't computer programmers, despite the in-depth conversation that we have on this here podcast.
Oh, I
Um,
wish I wish I was competent all at making a game. There's so many like quick mobile app ideas that aren't as scummy as all these ones that are out that I've had that I'm like, well, don't really know what I'm doing and I don't want to pay someone a shit ton of money to make this.
Yeah, I mean, the craziest part is I didn't go to college, but if I did go to college, one, I would have went to jail, positive. Two, I would have went into software engineering, and I was like, oh man, I can make like a text-based adventure thing. And obviously there are text-based adventures everywhere. That's fine. But like I was gonna be like superhero based and you could do this and do that and blah 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 blah. So I guess yeah, those of us programmers out there listening, you just want free money, free ideas. Give me a superhero RPG that you literally just text. AI can write most of it as long as it seems cohesive. I'll make it work in my brain. Um yeah, no, that would be epic. I've wanted a superhero RPG for a long time, an uncomfortable amount of time. The fact that there aren't more
Yeah,
blows my mind.
yeah, no, the superhero RPG would be kind of sick. Is especially
There
if you're
aren't
like RPGs with like all this magic and stuff, which is like a step away from superpowers.
it could be the same thing. Like, okay, mini detour. We're gonna circle back. Young Justice, the animated series,
Uh huh.
presented by Warner Brothers. My favorite part of that show is how they just have everybody in the same space. You got Superman, who's just an alien. You got Zatanna, who's just straight magic. Nothing has to make sense about Zatanna and her magic. And then you got just like Nightwing, just like, yeah, we're gonna beat him up. And everybody's like, yeah, no, we just exist. And yep, mm-hmm. We all exist. That's fine. Like, oh, what you got three arms coming out of you? Come on, come join the party. Why not?
I love it. I do. While we're here talking about just kind of other games, I do want to give an honorable mention to two games that I played that I think are less popular. Uh,
Okay.
First one is Leap Day. I don't know. Do you know what that is at all, Anthony?
Hey, it sounds familiar. What is it? I might
Okay,
recognize the.
so it's up and down, right? And so
Okay.
there's only one control, tapping to jump. That's it. That's the only thing. And so you
Hmm.
jump, and if you jump on a wall, you could jump then and jump off of that. And so you could wall jump as much as it can do it. It can't jump all the way across the screen. So it's a platformer where you just go up. And so and there's different enemies. You have to learn different ways to get around them or like kill them or
Hmm.
whatever. And so your whole goal is just to get to the top. And every day is a brand new level. They're still keeping it to
Oh,
this day,
that's
I'm pretty
cool.
sure. So yeah, so it's
Like a
super cool.
platformer roguelike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you die, you go back down, and there's like checkpoints on the way for the day. There's like two checkpoints for the day. At the end, there's like a boss kind of thing. It's super cool. Highly recommend
That's
anyone check it out.
Man, that's an idea there because you could take it. I mean, because that sounds like a daily kind of dive. What is it called? Daily rush, daily whatever. It sounds like one of those daily challenges. I mean, man,
Yeah, kind of.
you have some 2D platformer combat in there. Like you got something crazy. You got Slay
Yeah,
the Spire vertical. Ooh,
and
that's
I'm pretty
good.
sure
Write
the
that.
people that made that were making a Sonic version for Sega. It got canceled, but
Hmm.
that would have been sick.
Man, it all comes back to Sonic, our true savior in the gaming landscape. Mario, Sega, and Sonic forever. What was another game? Is it a Sonic
So,
related game?
no, it is not. It is not.
Oh,
It is Whale Trail. Another
that is
one.
another one. Why did you say that? And I immediately saw Baby Whales. Like I feel like I never played it, but I saw it being played.
No,
Am I thinking
that.
of something completely different?
I think so.
Okay,
So Whale Trail
disregard.
is probably one of the most hippie games out there. Like shit, you not.
Okay.
Go watch the music video for this song, the catchiest song in the world, next to "Dumb Ways to Die." But it's a masterclass in songwriting and video choreography. But it's a
I
game
can't
where
tell
you're.
if you're being sarcastic, but let's keep going.
Oh, absolutely! It's like low budget but fantastic. Like seriously, like it's
delivered that so well. I was gonna be like, oh man, like I'm surprised I haven't heard of these guys.
But so it's a game where you're this whale and you're up in the clouds. You're above the clouds, and there's little dots, and you collect the dots to keep going. And as you go, as you go, like you smoke, and the smoke like gets shorter, and so it runs out. You fall back down to the earth.
Okay.
As long as you eat the dots, like it stays long, or like if you get a bunch, like
Okay.
it'll grow back or whatever. And so like the whole goal is just to, like keep hitting them and going. There's like little enemies. If you hit them, like it'll like chunk it down and stuff like that. You just gotta go as long as you can. It's super relaxing.
Okay. Okay, Whale Trail. Because I feel like I've heard of it, but it's not what I thought it was. So I don't know what I was thinking of.
I'll send you a link to both these ones after we're done, so you can see them.
Sweet,
They're
sweet,
sick.
sweet. And I might play them. I might not. I can't lie to you, AJ. But I might.
I'll be
Let me
heartbroken
see
if you
I
don't.
got. You said that like that was gonna change my answer. One game I gotta shout out because this was the game for me personally
Mm-hmm.
that made me believe in mobile games, and that was we were talking about this before we started recording. Instalife, INSTLIFE. Instalife. It's the more boring version of BitLife, but it was also more ridiculous in weird ways. Like, okay, my favorite thing about this game is that it was all just black and white text. Towards the end, you could change the color of the text. Literally, just age 0. You're born in poverty. Negative $17,000 balance. It's just really funny. And so, like, my favorite death is I was 56. I was a Chinese R&B singer with like 16 kids. I was a female, by the way. I just wanted to throw that in there. And I died in a car crash with my Porsche. And I just got married to like a 23-year-old. It was a lot going on. And yeah, I died in a car crash in my Porsche, and I left this man to take care of my 16 kids. So
Nice. Just
just
kind of hose that
weird,
man over.
ridiculous stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, AJ, I didn't choose to die. I literally it was just like, hey, you want to go for a drive in your new Porsche? I'm like, I'm a Chinese R&B singer. Of course, I want to go for a drive in my Porsche. And yes, shout out Instalife. I miss that game so much. I miss it so bad, dearly. It's never coming back though.
So,
My
go
Ooh,
no,
come on.
go ahead. No, if you have a second, go.
No,
Go.
I was gonna talk about a different game. No, we can talk about Instalife as much as you want to talk about
I
Instalife.
no, I was actually to move on from Insta Life. Go ahead. What's your second one?
I was just gonna move on to Farm Hero Saga, which yes, is just Candy Crush with plants.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for some reason it scratched the itch for a long time. I got up to like this isn't much. Might have been like level 100 something. I would have to re-download it, but I'm not doing that to myself. So yeah, no, shout out Farm Hero Saga. That was the first one where I was like, that was my I guess my Zen game.
Okay. So I was gonna ask, what's your top 3 favorite phone games?
That's so hard.
Right?
AJ, so difficult. Okay, wait, no, I can do it. One of them I'm gonna go ahead and give Farm Hero Saga a spot. This is in no particular order.
Okay.
Farm Hero Saga. I'm in between. No, what? I'm gonna just say BitLife. I'm gonna say BitLife.
Okay.
I paid for no apps and like a lot of the expansions, not all of the expansions. Everybody, calm down. So it's a pure experience. It's more fun to me. Number 3, gosh, I'm gonna say Pokemon Go because I'm a nerd and I miss those old Yu-Gi-Oh battles when everybody used to bring their decks and everything, and I used to wish they would actually come to life. But yes, that's my 3. AJ, hit me with it. Come on.
Okay, so I want to say Genshin, but it's hard because I rarely played that on my phone. So to me, that's more of a like console game. So I'm not going to include that, but that deserves a mention.
Okay.
So for sure, Cut the Rope. That might be my number 1.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, cut the rope. Cut the rope. Yeah, that needs a revamp. Give me a 3D cut the rope, dog. That's the puzzle game I need.
Absolutely. I would cream my pants.
Dude, cut the rope 2 was dope.
Jetpack
You are-
Joyride, I think, is also there.
Okay. That's number 2. Well, that's a spot. That's the second spot.
I think I'm gonna get my last. It's between. I think I'm gonna give it to Vector, because that
Okay.
game is. Do you know what that is?
Is that a racing game? Is that am I
No,
thinking of
it's
that one?
it's the parkour game with silhouettes.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
love
Oh,
that game. That game was so sick, so smooth. But I also want to give it to Pocket God. 'Cause that game was the
ooh,
shit.
yeah.
I'm gonna
And
give
then
it to
if I got to
Vector,
throw in an
but
honorable mention, oh, you're gonna give number three to Vector, and then honorable mention to
Pocket God, Pocket God,
Pocket God.
gotta
Okay, I
give it.
couldn't remember the other one. Let's see my honorable mention real quick. Do you remember Shadow Fight?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. For those of us who have never seen Shadow Fight, it's what it sounds like. It's literally just silhouettes of martial artists doing kung fu, and then you would master different weapons, and then you would unlock different moves to use your weapons with. It was so interesting and cool.
So good. It was like a mini samurai kind of RPG. Like, I guess not an RPG, but like there was like a campaign to it. You like advanced and stuff.
Yeah.
And it, dude, that game was sick. And again, like that made fighting games work on. I'm surprised fighting games worked as well on phones since they're so like combo heavy. But with the swipes,
Mhm.
they work so phenomenally. They
It
like
doesn't make sense, right?
it.
And then like you hold two fingers to block, and yeah, no,
It's
like it
great.
it worked really well.
It works way
Um,
more than it should.
yeah.
I want to give one more honorable mention. This would not go in my top three, but it deserves an honorable mention because this is what I think just about everyone's first game was. Paper toss.
Okay. No, I'll give you that one. I'll give you paper toss. I'll give you paper
Where
toss.
you
Okay.
like toss the ball of paper into the trash can. There's
Yeah,
like the
be smart.
fans, you had
Okay.
to curve it. Like I think that was like one of everyone's first on their like iPod touches. Like
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of like another early one.
Doodle Jump was
Yeah, Doodle Jump. Yeah. Oh man, that brings me back to the Flash games because I don't know
yeah.
something about just how indie it all felt and how it was like really it felt cool. It was like cool to play Flash games for a period of
Uh
time,
huh.
and then mobile games it was cool to have mobile apps on your phone. And
Uh huh.
now people look at you like you are an addict.
Yeah, right. Like you've a problem. Tap Tap
Which I mean I
Revolution
do.
was
Shout out to
ooh, that game was so good. Essentially, Guitar Hero but on your phone.
yeah. Tap Tap. I was never the Tap Tap Revolution guy, but I saw the ferocity, I guess you
Yeah,
could say, the energy that everyone else had
it
about it, and I was like, if you're good at that and you like those, this is for you.
it had such a high and then just died so fast. I feel like no
Yeah,
one talks about it. People will be like, oh yeah, Doodle Jump. I feel like you'll mention Tap Tap Revolution. A lot of people will be like, huh?
yeah, yeah. Probably more people than you would probably guess. I'm trying to think. I'm going through like my iPad kid days, like my
Plants
recesses.
vs Zombies. We haven't mentioned that.
Oh yeah, oh, how could we forget Plants vs Zombies actually did make the jump to 3D, and now we have the Plants vs Zombies
Like
ethos.
3D shooter now. Like they have
Yeah.
everything.
I guess I mean I wouldn't really count Rayman, but shout out Rayman.
Yeah. That was one of those games that moved over. And there's tons of games, mobile games currently that are based on existing IPs that are mobilized
Hmm.
that are done well. Like Mario Run, you just have the one tap. Like that
Ooh.
was it. A little overpriced. Mario Kart Tour works phenomenally. I people bitch about it all the time. I
Yeah,
don't understand that. Like, yeah, it's
I
not
mean
as
because it's
good
not
as
as
eight.
responsive as yeah, it's not as responsive as the Switch, which it never was going to be. Let's
That's
start there.
fine. It's a
It
phone game. I think it works great. Now I wish it was more based on
does.
like placement. It's more based on points, so I do agree that's odd. Like, you could end in eighth and still get 5 stars, which is that doesn't make
Interesting.
sense.
I
Yeah,
mean, it doesn't, but it's interesting. It kind of adds like another layer of you don't have to necessarily be the best to win, right?
yeah,
Sort of like with Double Dash, how like you didn't have to have the fastest car to win every race.
yeah, absolutely. And there's like Pac-Man 256, great one where it just endlessly goes up.
Shout out
Um,
Pac-Man too.
Sonic Dash is literally Temple Run or Subway Surfers. Uh,
Can we talk about how PUBG kind of became PUBG on the mobile space? Can we talk about that?
Oh, dude, it blew up there. I mean, it was like it was smart because it was right as they were blowing up, starting to blow up like on consoles and PC. They dropped that mobile version, and anyone who didn't have access gave them access, and it was insane.
popped. It was
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean PUBG is still like a giant game, which I mean, people, if you're still playing PUBG, just go play Arma. It just play Arma. Don't ask me why. I'm not gonna explain to you why it makes sense. Just play Arma.
And then eventually, Fortnite made its way to mobile, and you still can play it mobily if you aren't an Apple user. And that's a massive game. Minecraft multiplat.
Yeah, how could I forget about the Minecraft mobile scene? It was a scene, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, originally it was Pocket Edition. It was legitimately its own thing, but now, as we previously discussed, and now it's cross-platform. So I mean, I could be on my phone and play with friends anywhere. So that is pretty cool. Again, I have the same problem with that as anything else. The buttons suck, but I digress.
What you gonna do? I mean, unless you get gaming peripherals for your Minecraft experience on the go. But I mean, AJ's not doing that, and I would like to do that only to say I did it, but I wouldn't do it every day.
Exactly. Yeah, I want them. I want the peripherals because they're cool. I want to try them out. I like, if I'm like at an airport, that's probably about the only time I'd use them because then you're there for at least 30 minutes. Like, at least it's like
Yeah, minimum.
enough time to whip them out, pop it on.
Not gonna lie, maybe it's an Alabama thing, but our airport is like really quick. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's a smaller airport in Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I've flown out of the most. And yeah, the last time I was there, literally, I could see my gate from the bag check, like
Yeah,
literally.
that's
And
pretty
so I would walk
small.
over, and we were just standing there by like one of like four gates, and we were just like, all right, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's fly somewhere.
Yeah, ours is so hit or miss because we are in the middle of the United States, so like there's a lot of connecting flights here. But it also means it's like it doesn't really affect the gates too much because they just like the security check because they just come in at the gates.
I'm
But
jealous.
Omaha's also not tiny. It's not big, but it's not tiny. It surprises people how
Yeah.
like the size we have.
Birmingham is the same way, except it's probably smaller than people give it credit for. But it's also not. It's not just just we're in Alabama. We have cities. We have
Yeah.
sidewalks. Everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like people, like I'll tell some people I'm on vacation, like, yeah, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and they're like, oh, so like, what do you do? Do you guys have electricity? I'm like, yeah, I live in a city. Like it's a city. Like,
That does city things.
yeah.
I didn't get that the last time I really went somewhere. The last place I really went was Minnesota,
Mm,
and I was just excited to see snow, and like I was the only one excited to go to Minnesota. It was a work thing. I was like,
uh-huh.
because when am I gonna go back to Minnesota? Let's be realistic. And yeah, everybody was like, oh man, you're visiting. Where you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Alabama. Mind you, this is Minnesota in January. This
Yeah.
is like peak, like snow is everywhere, and I
Uh-huh.
like back home it was like 65 degrees, and
Yeah.
they just looked at me like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
And well, because everyone there is also like, fuck snow, and like people that
Yeah, it was so funny.
everyone that doesn't live there is like, ooh, it's so pretty, and I'm like, I can't wait for it to leave.
Yeah, no, like driving on it, don't get me wrong, it was not a good time. The main roads were fine, the parking lots and everything were super icy. What does this have to do with gaming? I'm not sure. We'll circle back at
Nothing.
some point. We'll circle back. AJ, no, don't say nothing. That means we gave up on the topic. But yeah, no. Literally, I got off the plane. I was like, "Hi, this is the stuff my boss told me to get for a rental." And they were like, "All right, great. Go up this escalator." Went up the escalator. Mind you, this is the Minnesota airport. Go up this escalator to this parking deck. And I was like, "Hey, the lady at the desk gave me this piece of paper. I don't know." And so somebody just got me. He was like, "All right, cool, come on." We go out there. It's like literally maybe 7 cars. None of them look very impressive, except for
Mm.
this one Challenger on the other side of the parking lot, brand new, two-door, everything. Oh my God, it was so pretty. And she just looked at me and goes, "You want me to put you in a Challenger?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Why would I not want you to put me in a Challenger? What's wrong with you? Come on." And yeah, so I had a Challenger in Minnesota. This was right before they
In the
legalized marijuana. I
snow,
was
that's
in
interesting.
the snow. I was so here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about driving in Minnesota in a Challenger. The main roads were fine. Like the freeway,
Yep.
perfectly fine. right? You get to a parking lot though, my guy. Literally, as soon as I got off of like the main like road or whatever, went to my hotel. Thankfully, the place I had to be was literally like five. I could have ran there in 10 minutes. Um, Literally, I'm trying to park and I just hear my tires just like they're not catching nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I need to go 3 miles per hour and not five. Like,
Idling is apparently too fast. Got it.
yeah, yeah, dude. Like because like it would give you a little alert, like oh you're slipping, but like it was just funny because you would hear it before the thing just
Yeah, it's like stuttering. Yeah.
yeah. Or like one morning, man. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
I have a pretty interesting snow story where I actually
Ooh,
ended
come.
up in a ditch. My car ended up in a ditch. So,
Are you okay?
oh yeah, oh everything was fine. But
That's good. I felt bad for that.
it was like my senior year of college, and I needed to head back. This is around Christmas time, of course, right? You know, it's cold.
Okay.
And I was gonna head back for family dinner that night, and so I meant to get out earlier, but I don't remember what I had going on at this point, but I had something that was already going on, and like it wasn't our Christmas celebration night. I would have left way earlier. It was more like everyone else is here. We're gonna have dinner tonight together, you know, because a lot of the kids would go off when we all come back in town. All of our friends are back in town, so we all go off and do our thing anyways. So, we so I was coming back, and I knew it was supposed to storm, but it wasn't supposed to be for another hour. It takes like 30 to 45 minutes to get from Lincoln to Omaha, where I was at in college. And so I started driving. Well, storm hit early, and so I was like, okay, we're fine, we're fine. I get off on the exit and make it probably 50 feet after the exit, and I just start going right as I'm going straight. I'm only going like 30. I'm only going 30 on the interstate, so the interstate should be the clearest.
Golly.
And so I just all of a sudden just start sliding to the right at the same speed, and I like turn my wheel and just notice it's loose. Just nothing. Like it didn't change a thing. I was like, uh-oh. And I look ahead and I see a sign, like just like a metal, like one of those green metal signs, just straight ahead. I'm going straight for it. I know you're not supposed to like.
Only good things.
Yeah, right. I know you're not supposed to hit the brakes because that only helps you like lose momentum and something like that. You're trying to like, catch it, but I'm like probably 5 seconds away from this sign. So I decide, brakes are better than nothing. I need to at least slow down because I'm going 30 head first, which isn't like horrible speed, but it's gonna total my car.
That's fast as fuck.
It's gonna total my car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I tapped the brake and I spun probably 3 or 4 times before I just came to a stop, and I was just like looking downward at the bottom of a ditch.
Oh, okay.
And what was even scarier is probably even 5 minutes after I stopped. Because, you know, like it happens. Mm-hmm. Call my parents right. I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming down. Like, this is not happening. I made it 50 feet out of the fucking city. I'm not coming.
And not gonna play with it.
They're like, well, we'll come down and get you. I'm like, no, you're not driving all the way down here to come get. I was like, no. I'll call like a roommate or someone to come get me. Like, I'll see you tomorrow. It was supposed to be as bad the next day, so like, I'll just see you tomorrow.
Okay.
But well, I'm trying to figure out who can come get me because other people are going to their families' houses to go do stuff.
Right? Yeah, they're doing their thing.
So I'm trying to figure out who can come get me, and as I'm doing that, a car, a Suburban, all black, pulls up right behind and stops. And like people get out and are like looking around in my windows and stuff, and so like I'm like purposely like showing my phone light because I'm like, what's going on? They were like look around for probably like 3-4 minutes, and I don't know what they were planning on doing, but then just drove off. I was terrified.
Are you hold up? So I'm assuming that you don't have tints on this particular car.
Like very, very legal tint.
Very legal tint. Okay. So I don't know. They could have been making sure you're alive.
Yeah, maybe. It was also like, remember also it's pitch black out at night. There's like no cars.
Oh, it's pitch black, and then and there's just 3-4 dudes hop out of a
and there's like Suburban. No cars on the road, no nothing. Like I'm like,
it's just you and these 4 or 5 people, or however many people it was.
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good for me.
yeah. I'm sure that they might have just been like, what's that? Ah, poor guy. And then they left because they realized they couldn't help you, AJ.
So,
But not
anyways,
everything.
while I was waiting for my friend to pick me up, I played some phone games. To tie it all back, because my God, did we just take a right 90-degree turn way off of this subject for like 10 minutes. Um, so to tie it back here, last thing I really wanted to talk about, anyways, thank you for phone games, is emulators. So emulation has been a big thing for phones, right? You know, like when I was in high school, and I let Anthony collect himself.
I don't know if I can, but I'll try.
We played the classic Pokemon games a bunch on our phones, just because it was like a blast of nostalgia. And those again are easy, like up and down. The buttons are on the bottom, things on top. You don't, if you stand still, you're fine. Like, it's not fast paced at all. Turn-based battles, all the things. So like those worked really well, and you could quick do a battle and put your phone away. Like, those worked. Nintendo, port the classic Pokemon games as a game on phones. More money you're also
AJ,
just leaving.
No, but then they can't strike people down for making emulators.
Exactly,
AJ,
right? There's no fun in that. So yeah,
exactly.
like that was a big thing, you know. And I hate to, you know, rip them from your own legal copies onto your computer and download them onto your phone this way. Do not illegally do it. But you
everyone did it.
Everyone did it. Persona 3 Portable also works really well. Really, like anything turn-based for the most part works really well.
Yeah.
So
Pocket More.
Yes, that game's awesome. I completely forgot all about it. So yeah, emulators are a big thing on phones. You can emulate pretty much anything up to like PS2 era. So that's pretty crazy. But
technology, dude.
Technology, right? And well, and even to this day, I saw a thing where they're able to emulate certain Switch games on just like your base model Samsung phones. They're able to do it. They had Super Mario 3D World running at like 45 frames a second.
That's higher than the regular cap.
On like the standard S23 or whatever it is nowadays, whatever the newest one is. Like, that's impressive. Man.
It's beyond impressive, but I mean, also the Switch is about as powerful as a 360. The Switch 2, whenever that comes out, is going to be more powerful. We know that, even though Nintendo acts like it doesn't exist.
It's going to be in between. It's rumored to be in between PS4 and PS5, which is plenty for a portable device. I'm assuming it to be portable. That's plenty of power.
That's what the rumor says.
That's plenty.
Yeah, no. I mean, a PlayStation 4 up until pretty recently could run modern hardware, like modern software. Like RE4 is available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Right before I got my PlayStation 5, I got the PlayStation 4 version. I don't know why, but that's what I decided to do with my time and money. Nintendo, just release an emulator. And Nintendo, if you just released an emulator, you wouldn't have to steal it. Yeah. Not that I steal anything.
People will pay for it. People are only doing it because there is no other way. The only way is emulation. That's it. So that's why people do it. If they had another option, I bet you. I mean, there are people that still would get it for free, but there are tons of people that would pay for it. I would have paid for the Pokemon games. Drop it for $10. A lot of people would drop. Pokemon Emerald. I mean, Pokemon Leaf Green, Fire Red.
Depending on how far back you go, like if you do like a Pokemon like Yellow remastered on mobile, people will drop $20 on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not me, but someone.
Dude, absolutely. It'd be so good and so easy.
So easy.
Money.
You don't even need a remaster. Don't even give me color on Pokemon Yellow. Just give me sprites.
Yeah. And you could do, gold and silver. Like I said, leaf green, fire red. I would say emerald instead of ruby or sapphire, just because why not?
But leaf green.
Leaf green was my copy. That was my that and emerald. Those are like my two, my Game Boy ones. But yeah. Anyways,
those are
with that, I am out of things to talk about. Do you have anything else, Anthony?
No, I'm still laughing at your story and how you tied it up. That was really good. I need to take notes on that one. That was really good. Apart from that, we love you. We think about you all the time, and we will be here next week like clockwork. We have taken up a lot of you guys' time. AJ, do the thing.
As always, guys, stay mediocre.